has like 800 million views. What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It's your girl Dayna, and I'm going to do a Q&A today, just so that you can get to know me better. I feel like I get on YouTube, I get on Instagram, I say, I lifted, this is what it felt like, see you next time. And that's pretty much it. Q&A is for you guys to get to know me, maybe not like on a super personal level, but you know, just to give off a little bit more information about myself, answer some of your questions. Judging by the last video, 30,000 views, 3 million views, that's crazy. 333,330 views. The rest of the numbers are hidden, so whatever you see, just know that those numbers are hidden. But anyways, yeah, so basically this is just like a little Q&A so you guys get to know me or whatever, and yeah, just, like I said, answer some of your questions, because I don't really talk about myself a lot, and I find that out a lot whenever I go to meets and people are like, oh, you don't really talk about yourself, we don't know anything about you. That's crazy. All right, my name is Dayna McNeil. I'm a competitive powerlifter with Powerlifting America in the 76 kg weight class, national champion 2022 and 2023, looking to go back for that three-peat in 2024. So basically that's what this whole series is. It's me just wanting to share my experience, share my thoughts and feelings as I prep for Powerlifting America Nationals, which is March 14th to 16th in Reno, Nevada. And yeah, that's the whole goal of this like little series. So the first question is, how did you get into powerlifting? This question, it can get a little long-winded, but I'm just gonna give you a short version of the story. I'm in the Air Force and I have a PT test. So I have a physical training, physical standards that I need to maintain. At the time, it was push-ups, sit-ups, a waist measurement, and a run, 1.5 mile run. So what I noticed was run time started increasing, which is not good. You want to have like the fastest run time as possible for your 1.5 miles, and then my push-ups were decreasing. And you want to have as many push-ups as possible, as many as you can get in a minute, push-ups in a minute, sit-ups in a minute, and then a 1.5 mile run. So I noticed that my score was getting lower and lower, and being in the Air Force, if you fail your PT test a certain amount of times within a certain period, then they kick you out. They start the process to kick you out. And at the time, I was like, if I get out, I want to get out on my own terms. I don't want to get out because I couldn't maintain physical training standards. I'm a resolutioner, so I decided to, that January, start running and then doing stuff that was going to help me out with my push-ups. And then I knew nothing about programming, so don't laugh, but I was going to run for a month. I was going to run a couple times a week for a whole month for 30 days. And then that next month I was going to go in the gym and do stuff to help build up my triceps and my chest and everything. And then the next month I was going to go run, and I was going to like alternate until I was maybe like a month out from my PT test, and then I would just alternate weeks. And that was a plan in my head, and I still remember that to this day. So I knew nothing about programming. So now that I know what I know, that was not gonna work. But anyways, that first month, run, started getting better, went down to the gym, and I just kind of never left the gym. From there, I became a gym rat, and I went on a deployment. And after, I was still not, a powerlifter. I didn't really know what powerlifting was. I had a couple friends who did it, but it wasn't anything that really interested me. I was more interested in going that bodybuilder route, because I'm like, I'm gonna have a six-pack. I want to look, amazing. I want to be beach ready at all times. I didn't know any of that meant. I just knew I wanted a six-pack. And as far as I knew, bodybuilding was the way to get there. So I did well in bodybuilding, but I didn't do as well on my second show as I thought I was. And so from there, I quit bodybuilding, started powerlifting, went on a deployment. And on that deployment, it was a guy, he didn't like how the 500-pound, 1,000-pound challenges were being run. So he's like, I'm going to run this one like a unsanctioned powerlifting meet. So he went over all the rules. And everything for me is going in one ear and out the other. Fast forward to the end of the meet. He was like, hey, Dayna, we both have Wilks we are both 50 Wilks points from national competitors, and don't know anything about powerlifting, don't know what that means. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna be a bodybuilder. And he was like, well, I just want to see you on that national platform. And I kind of sort of dismissed him, went on about my life, did bodybuilding, found out that it was very, very subjective. I'm like, well, let me do powerlifting, because if you lift the weight, you lift it, and like, it's not political. Okay. So I moved over to powerlifting. I was moving to Alaska, but before I got there, I stopped by visiting my parents who were living in Maryland at the time, and I did a meet in Virginia Beach. From there, flew to Alaska, I did another meet, and then I went to nationals, and then like that's pretty much how I got into powerlifting. How long have you been in the military? So I've been in the military for a very long time, like 15, 16 years. Yeah. How much longer will you be in? I'm gonna ride it out until the end. So, and then what's your plan after the military? Oh gosh, the plan is, hear me out. The plan is, don't laugh. The plan is to open a gym. I've been wanting to open a gym for such a long time, and then I see people opening up gyms. My friends, plural, they've opened up a gym in Virginia. The kind of gym that I want to open up, it would be a powerlifting gym, and I've been wanting to do this for years. I have an Excel doc. I basically like laid out on one tab the layout of the gym, and then the next tab is all the equipment that I would need, and then the next tab is like future plans, and then it's like, yeah, I have it's all right there. I have prices, I have quantities, I have everything. That is my plan, as generic as it sounds, and I've heard that opening up a gym is not easy. I mean, with these 80, what was it? Let me look. 29,000. So some of the numbers are hidden, but 29,000 views on my last video. 23,000 on the one before. 124 million on the one before that. Like, y'all show me so much love. Just keep showing love, right? So some of the zeros are hidden. So yeah, just don't pay any attention to that. But let me see. How long have you been lifting is the next question. So I've been powerlifting for about 7 years, this coming June. So I've been lifting for maybe a total of 10 years. So 7 years this June. That's when I did my first official powerlifting meet. And I think August is when I guess I considered myself, I didn't really consider myself a powerlifter until recently. Because I had that imposter but I've just learned to accept it, you know. Having imposter syndrome, that's something else. But yeah, I very recently just considered myself a powerlifter. Next question is, any advice on someone that wants to get started in powerlifting? I feel like I'm the worst person to ask questions like this. Like, what do I do? Because for me, I just jumped in and did it. So I feel like everyone should just, and I'm a very socially awkward person anyways. Like on here, you're not gonna see it because it's just me, camera, and a light that needs to be fixed because you can see it in my glasses. But I think that people should just do it. How do you not do something without ripping the Band-Aid off? I think it's just one of those things. Learn how to squat, bench, and deadlift to competition standards, and sign up for a meet and do it. And that's how I feel. I would also say don't wait until you can lift a certain amount. Let's say, I'm just gonna put a number out there. Let's say you wanna lift 100 pounds. You say, I won't compete until I can lift 100 pounds. Once you can lift 100 pounds, you're gonna say, well, 100 is pretty good. Maybe 150. Let me try for 150. And then you will continually chase a number and you won't compete. So yeah, don't do that. Sign up for your first meet. As long as you can squat, bench, and deadlift to competition standards, you're good to go. Powerlifting is also a marathon, very much so. I think people see a lot of the elite lifters on social media at these powerlifting meets, lifting these crazy weights, and think that that's where they need to start. But those people didn't start there. They may have started at a higher level than the average person, but they still had to build up to where they're at right now. So, I mean, you could be the next. And then also, comparison is the thief of joy, and I know that all too well. So don't compare yourself to other people. Everyone progresses at different rates. Get out there, do it, make it yours. The question is, any other sports? ? Sure. I like basketball. I've recently been watching a lot of football. Go Lions, even though this is after that game that they had with the... Who did they play? They lost. I know, they lost. My family is a big Detroit fan. Lions, Red Wings, Tigers, Shock. Any sports team from Detroit, my family's behind it. So I don't even like football, but, you know, I was rooting for them because my family was rooting for them. Or, I don't know if they meant, like, if I like any other sports or if I did any other sports. I did do track when I was really, really little. And then, again, in middle school and then high school. Track was a lot of fun. I love it. It's my favorite sport. And I do miss it. If I ever had the opportunity to go back in time, I would have taken track a lot more seriously. Because, you know, they say hard work beats talent. I definitely had something there for track. And it was just never really developed fully. So, sad face. RIP to my track career. Maybe next time. And also I played kickball. I don't know what they meant by any sports. I probably should have just skipped the question, but I played kickball recently. It's very competitive and it is not a lot of fun. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. I'm looking for a coach. How did you pick yours? Well, my coach found me. I did a meet in Alaska because that's where I was living. And at the end of the meet, the head ref came up to me and was like, have you ever thought about coaching? I don't know anything about the sport. I just know that I have to squat, bench, and deadlift to competition standards and listen to the athlete's briefing, and that's it. So my coach clarified in an email later on. He's like, hey, look, I'd really like to coach you. I see a lot of potential, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sure, why not? And that was 7 years ago. So that's how I picked my coach. How I think people should pick their coaches, I wouldn't just go off of what I see online. I would actually look at whether it's the lifter themselves or the coach mentioning them. See if you can find out who coaches, who they're coached by, people's experience with them. Look for someone that is compatible with you. If you prefer gentle coaching, and by gentle coaching, you know, like gentle parenting, but the person that you're interested in coaching isn't like that. They are raw, they're rugged, they're going to say things and your feelings might get hurt. Then that might not be a good match. It doesn't matter who's on their roster. That might not be a good match. Just look for a coach that you can be compatible with. Other things I would say for a good coach, make sure that their communication, they communicate well, communicate consistently. Programs are given out on time, and they should be able to tell you when they're giving you your program on that initial consultation. Your coach should be able to lay out their expectations for you, and then like you can kind of sort of ask questions at that time. But yeah, I would say do like an initial consultation if they offer that, and just to make sure that you're a match. You probably asked a question on our powerlifting on Reddit. So just go to our powerlifting, ask the questions. Yeah, that's how I would say go about picking a coach. I know that's like, hopefully that's not too vague. You can get something out of it, but those are just my thoughts on there. So this is a 2-part question. How tall are you and how do you lift so much with your limbs? Well, I'm 5'10", 5 feet 10 inches, and I lift with my body. I came into powerlifting not understanding leverages and limb length and how that can be beneficial or not so beneficial on certain lifts, and I just tried my best. Another question is, how do you like Japan? But yeah, I've been blessed to live a lot of different places and see a lot of different cultures, and I really do. I like Japan. I don't like it for the stereotypes that people might think, like, oh, just anime and ramen. Like, that is here, but just, you know, different cultures. Like, I live in a what's this, a blue zone, and just seeing how people live, and how they live these extremely long lives, and how can I live an extremely long life? What can I do to help myself be immortal? But yeah, out of all the places I lived, I think I like Japan the most. Are you single? Yes. What lifting exercise do you hate but you do because it is effective? Bench. Also anything to help supplement bench. Like, I hate saying that I hate bench, but I don't like it. So, because I'm not good at it, and just trying to become better at something requires like a learning process. It's a learning curve. It's all this growth that you have to go through, and I just don't like bench. So anything that's related to bench, standing overhead military press, incline bench. What lifting exercise do you love but doesn't make your numbers go up? Rack pulls, 100%. I love rack pulls, and I thought I was killing it. It didn't help. It didn't help at all. Favorite color? Green all day. Green. I'll put on the screen what shade of green I like. But yeah, green. Favorite team? I'm Team Dayna. 100% all day, every day, Team Dayna, the home team. But you're probably talking about sports teams. I don't have a favorite sports team. Like I said earlier, I was rooting for the Lions, but that's because my family is a huge Lions. They support the Lions. But my favorite sports team, I guess you could say the Celtics. Yes, and this is before the big three came. What's the benefits of using a slingshot? So slingshot provides overload. So you're able to load more on the bar when you're using a slingshot. Bench Daddy, a Titan Ram, any of those bench aids. Basically, it's just to overload, get your body used to adding a lot more weight and being able to push a lot more weight. Does that translate without the slingshot? No, absolutely not. I think I benched 275 pounds. I wish I could do that without a slingshot. But it's just overload. What's your time to peak? How many weeks do you run your development blocks for? Same question for pivots. My time to peak was in high school. No, I'm just kidding. Peak, usually start peaking around, we start our prep block maybe 6 weeks out. How many weeks for the development blocks? They usually run around 4 to 5 weeks, but talking to my coach, that might change soon just because of how this last block went. So yeah, same question for pivots. Usually you do a pivot for about 2 weeks, and pivot, deload, I don't know. Someone said you can't use them interchangeably, but here I am using them interchangeably. So pivots for about 2 weeks, and then my development blocks, usually about 4 to 5 weeks, and then peaking maybe about 6 weeks out. Resolutions. Why do you ask these one-worded questions? Okay, resolutions. New Year's resolutions. I don't really have any New Year's resolutions, but I do have a couple of powerlifting goals. The one, I guess I could share them. There's no shame in sharing these goals, playing them close to the chest. But my goals this year will be to win nationals again. Of course, that's always the goal. But to win nationals, get that invite to the Worlds team, and then the podium at Worlds. Very, very ambitious goals. But I just have to believe in myself and then just execute my training accordingly, and then hopefully, and just be the strongest person on competition day. So those are my goals. Let's run this up. Like, we got 29,000 views on the last one. Let's make this one 30,000 views. Just keep it going. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Check out the other videos on my channel. Feel free to click the subscribe button, hit the noti bell, and follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.